Hiya mate, I thought I'd do you a little introduction to Crusader Kings 3 just to give you an idea of how to play the game, so let's begin. Right, so I'm going to start a new game and I'm going to probably start as the ruler that you were playing with as well, which is going to be the Petty King Merchad of Munster. Pretty good place to start. It will give you an idea of the de jure titles and the layers within them, so let's get going. Alright, okay, here we are. So this is the realms page, so this will tell you all the realms that are owned by all the various factions and leaders, dukes, kings, emperors across the map. So Ireland has been fractured into many kingdoms. The kingdom of Ireland doesn't exist, unlike Scotland and England, and it's the same with Wales. Wales has been fractured into multiple earldoms and dukedoms. So I'm just going to start off by having a quick look at my character. So we've got the Petty Merchad MacDonchad of Munster, 39 years old. He's probably just over halfway through his life, I would have thought, at this rate. So just starting off, looking at the traits here, it's pretty self-explanatory. You give that a click on X and it will show you what his skill set is. So Merchad is pretty good at warfare, so you can see he's got a good martial skill, which improves his commanding traits really within armies. You can also see supply duration. So supply duration is something whereby your armies can travel further into enemy territory without suffering losses. So temperate as well gives me a little bit of boost to health and stewardship, as well as piety, so it's good. We've got wrathful, once again improving the martial skill and the dread. And we've got impatient, which is improving our monthly prestige. Now prestige is something typically that will be used to instigate conflicts with other counties or countries. So we need to make sure that we continue to get high levels of prestige. It will also make us a more renowned leader in amongst our world. So underneath your traits you've got your skills, so you can see all the things that Merchad is good at. So poor at diplomacy, excellent at martial and warfare, and as a result it gives me additional levies. Poor at stewardship, I get a little boost because I'm temperate, but in general collecting money is not my strong suit, as is intrigue or learning. So over here is basically your resources, which you'll also find at the top of the screen. So you'll see how much gold you've got, how that's broken down, so what is instigating your 1.9 gold every month, so you can see where that money's coming from. So the same with prestige, piety and renown. So gold, self-explanatory. Prestige, as I said, is kind of like your reputation and allows you to instigate conflicts. Piety, that will obviously allow you to do certain things within a religious aspect, and renown is the reputation of your dynasty as a whole. As and when you get renown, it allows you to have certain dynasty traits. We'll have a look at that in a little bit. So looking at the family, yep, okay, parents are dead. I've got a son, Brian of Merchat to Brian, and I've got some siblings as well. So let's have a quick look at our player heir, our son. So there he is. His mother is a mystery, but you can see he's also strongest at warfare, also not bad at diplomacy, very similar, and he's got a certain trait called tough soldier, which improves the martial, but he's not as strong as our current ruler Merchad. So what we're going to do, we're going to start having a look at Merchad. So when we look at the home screen, you've got your L2 and you've got your R2. So if you hold L2, that will bring up this wheel, and these are all the things that are character related, and then R2 is all the things map related. So let's start off with the character, because we've been talking about Murchad. So beginning with the titles, you'll be able to see what titles and claims he has. So Murchad does have an unpressed claim to the Kingdom of Ireland, and he currently has. It's a bit, unfortunately, it's a bit confusing in console. You don't see the you don't see the you don't see the titles as clearly for whatever reason. I'm just going to have a quick look here and bring up the tool tip and just see if I click on titles. Yeah, it doesn't tell you, which is a little bit annoying. So I'm struggling to find out. Okay. So you can see that I'm the petty kingdom of Munster, and if you wanted to, and I'm sure Bean would, you can change the name to something else. And it tells you what's inside your realm. So if I just bring up the wheel here, so this is the realms currently, but you've also got the duchies. So duchies are basically areas of land, and who owns has many counties within those lands. So essentially, the map itself is completely layered. So you start off with the lowest level, which you can play at, which is counties, and it shows you all the counties within a particular country or inside a particular duchy. Then the next level up is duchies. So, for example, Ormond is in the Duchy of Munster, and Munster is in the Kingdom of Ireland, and then Ireland is in the Empire of Britannia. So it's all layered. So Ormond is at the lowest level, Munster, Ireland, Britannia. So just going back to that briefly, so we are, and this is a bit annoying really on the console, I don't know why the claims aren't just listed here like they are on PC, which is a bit annoying because I'm not too sure what our claims actually are. I can see title, can't see our current title history. So it just shows you the history. Okay. So anyway, going back to the character, we have titles and you got lifestyle. So starting here, there's 5 trees to pick from. So because Murchad is predominantly martial, you'll get an extra 30% gain for any martial experience. So because he's 38, 39 already, the AI would have automatically populated some of the skill trees, so that's the one the AI has populated. But as well as the skill trees, you also have your focuses, and they give you additional things. So looking at this, I think we're just going to go for the strategy focus, which gives me +3 martial, which will then make it even better for maintaining and running armies. But there are other things you can consider, like dread, which will prevent people or counties rising up against you, or peasant armies. And then prowess is your particular strength at combat. So combat itself. So if you do any duels, or if you're in a fight itself. So we'll put that particular lifestyle trait. So we'll have a look at our dynasty next. So this is our family. So we are House Brian. Okay. And we're part of the De Glass dynasty. So House Brian is within the dynasty of Dal Gallis. And then it will show you all the living members of that dynasty and which house they belong to. So there's 2 houses. So there's the Dal Glass, which has no living members. Lost it. And then you've got the Brian, which is where we're all living. But the De Glass was founded in 200 AD, and Brian's relatively new. We're looking at about 100 years old. see all the living members of our particular dynasty. Okay, so coming out of that, we've got faiths and cultures. I probably won't focus on that too much at the beginning, but we're currently insular Christianity, and it will show you certain holy points. So if you go on the map here, it will show you particular holy sites related to our religion. So they give you additional growth and benefits if you have them within your territory. And culture, this is where you can see various cultures, and depending on who's within your court and things, cultures may not get on well with one another. So Ireland is predominantly Irish, but over in this county here it is actually Norwegian. The reason why you can see these cross lines, it's not a solid colour like Welsh or Irish, is because it's a combination. What I mean by that is, if you look at the leader of Ireland, of this county, sorry, you'll see that he is Irish. So the leader is Irish, but his people are Norwegian. So there's a conflict there, and that particular leader will either need to convert to Norwegian or try and convert his population to an Irish culture. So in here as well, you've got your innovations, which allows you to learn new things. So pretty self-explanatory. You can go through them and see what particular things will offer you. I would almost always look at civic ones first over the military, but some of the military is quite important. But this one, for example, this one allows you to enact different laws of succession, and it is the same with this one as well. So when you start the game, you have partition succession, which means that when your leader dies, all counties or duchies, kingdoms will be split between your children. So your kingdoms typically will fracture after your leader's death, depending on what kind of succession laws that you have. So anyway, that's a brief overview into the character itself. And then at the top you've got various things here. So the first one is your realm. So this will show you your crown authority, how many domains and holdings you have within your land, and what they give you. So as you can see towards the bottom, it will say that you get a certain amount of taxes or levies from particular domains. So at the moment we've got the lowest crown authority. I had a window there, now it's gone. I have to get the tooltip, just like that. So it just tells you it's autonomous vassals, and that's what the crown authority will offer you. But if we were to opt to go up a level, you can see that it gives you additional benefits. So rulers can be changed between partition succession laws, titles can be revoked, vassals can be retracted, and clan government vassals will provide at least 5% levies and 2% more income. So we'll get more money from our vassals, and as well as that, if we don't like them, we can kick them out and replace them with someone we do like. So I would definitely look at trying to increase your crown authority as you expand or develop your particular dynasty. So this is our domain. So in our domain we can see we've got just Thormund, and in Thormund we have this particular castle, and we can go there. Let's have a look at it. So you can see the castle is currently level 2, 250 levies that are at the castle, and I can get 255 levies if I call them to war. So it's relatively low level. It's something we definitely need to develop if we are to become a stronger nation. So that's our capital, our realm capital. So we can zoom in there. That's the realm capital. As you can see, 255, 144 gold, 14 gold. So not also up, pretty poor, but we'll build that up. And you can see it's the capital because it's got the crown next to the name. So you've also got other holdings within your realm. So you can click on here. You've got Innis. So that's vassal within my county. and he's currently my spy master, and you can see that he is the mayor of that particular city, and that city is pretty low level with no additional benefits. Now, when it comes to developing, I would always suggest developing your capital over any of your vassals' counties or cities or whatever, because they typically will develop them themselves. And as well as that, if the land ever does fracture, then that could end up being another ruler's town, city, or county in the future, and you've invested into that. So I would always invest predominantly into your capital before going into any of your vassals' lands. You've also got your church. Now, they provide you quite a significant amount of gold, so it's always important to have your bishop on side. Otherwise, the amount of income from levies and taxes that you get is going to be greatly reduced, so we always want to make sure that they're on our side. And as you can see here, there's an empty holding, and that we can at some point in the future create a new holding, such as a city, temple, or castle, and get additional benefits from that. So that's the county that we hold. This is within our realm, you can see from the blue border, but there is a golden line here. So basically what that means is that this is our realm, but this is the land that we control, and this has been assigned to somebody else. So this has been assigned to Ragvald. So he's currently the Earl of this land, but he pledges allegiance to me, and you can see that from the gold line. So you can see who pledges allegiance to who by clicking on certain areas. So that's what we got. Now let's carry on through here first. So we've got armies, which is pretty self-explanatory, I suppose. So at the moment, what have we got? We're going to control our own armies, so it's automated. So this is the option to raise armies and things, but in this tab you can see what armies you've got. So our army's pretty poor, to be honest. 321 troops, which is consisting of predominantly levies, which are peasant and farm folks that are called to war when the time comes, so they're pretty weak. So we definitely want to look at creating new units as we get more money. So the units that we create. It's very much like rock paper scissors with this. So let's have a look at light footmen, for example. So when you look at this, let's get the tooltip so I can point. So this type is skirmishers, and it just says here the light footman counters these types of enemy, heavy infantry. So if you're looking to go to war, what you can do is you can look at your opponent's forces to identify what they have, and you may want to recruit men-at-arms that counteract those particular forces. You can also see here the terrain effects, so you've got pluses next to these. So if I just click on one of them, it shows you that light skirmishers, footmen, do additional damage in the forest. They also do additional damage in Tangier and in the jungle. So, I mean, there aren't any jungles or Tangiers in Ireland from what I know, so forests are the ones, so they'll do us extra damage there. Just to have another quick look at them. So you've got light bowmen. So once again, same sort of thing. It says that light bowmen counter skirmishers. So if you found that somebody's got lots of skirmishers with the army, you may want to get bowmen in. And once again, they can fight in different areas. So Tangier again, forests and hills as well. As well as that, you can see from the information at the bottom here, each of these require maintenance if they're raised or unraised. So you just keep an eye on that, and obviously how much gold you've got in your reserves, and not to overspend essentially, because if you go into debt, then that will cause quite a lot of unrest within your realm. So as you can see, light footmen cheaper than bowmen, and then bowmen I would have thought are going to be cheaper than horsemen. So there we are. These two at the bottom, these are predominantly for sieging. So you can see that the catapults and things, they siege castles up to certain levels. So this one here at 60 can siege up to level 5, and that's the cost of their maintenance. Whereas the one below, that can siege up to level 10, and I think it's about the same price, isn't it? Yeah, not much difference. So, yeah. If you find yourself in a bit of a pickle and you need men quickly, you can go into this tab, Mercenaries, where you can just hire particular mercenaries for a one-off cost, and they'll come and join you for a set period of time. So 3 years is the contract for that particular one. Okay. Next is the council. Now this is really important, where you pick people within your realm to do certain jobs. So there will be vassals who will demand positions within your council, and if you don't do that, then they may get upset, disgruntled, and inevitably try to get rid of you in some shape or form if they're that unhappy. But on the other hand, you do want to try and find that balance where you've got people who are skilled at the job that you're doing. So just going back to the bishop, what I was saying to you earlier, he's going to be giving us gold, but he doesn't like us. Let's see why he doesn't like us. So he doesn't like us because we've only been reigning for a short period of time, because I've got poor diplomacy skills, and the fact that he's calm and I'm wrathful. So we got a clash of personalities there. So what I'm going to do, it's not a huge difference. The like and the dislike goes from -100 to +100, so I think it will be relatively straightforward to get him on side. So in a few minutes I'm going to try and change that. So this is the Chancellor. So once again, he's not a fan of me. So, and the reason for this is because he's got a claim on a title, and once again, I've got a short reign. So it's a bit annoying. It would be nice if you could click there and see what titles they've got access to, because I am really struggling to find out what. Yeah, I'm struggling to find out what claims he has. I can't see it. So I'm hoping that's something that they patch at a future date, because I don't know what claims he's entitled to. The only way I think I might be able to do it is if I try to marry him, because in this page it's quite clear to see where the titles are. You click on there and it will give you a list of all the claims that they have, but for some reason I can't see that with people within our own realm. The only other thing I can think of to do quickly, just to check court. Oh, there he is. Okay, so there's a little go around, I think. So can I click on here? No, doesn't let me. So you can see he's got a claim to a title there. You see the shield, so that means he's got a claim to a title, but it's just annoying because I can't, it won't let me see what titles he's got claims to, which is really annoying. Anyway, I'm sure they'll patch that at some point because it needs to be changed. So anyway, he doesn't like me because he's got claims to, I think, certain titles. The steward here, someone who likes me at last, and if you notice as well, next to the +44, there's this symbol here, intimidated. So basically, because I've got a certain reputation, he's not going to stand against me. Marshal. So this guy is our vassal, so we need to try and keep him on side, otherwise he may raise men against us. And you can see there's a lot going on here about why, why he likes me, or dislikes me I should say. But there's the foreign culture group. So as you can see, this guy is Norwegian, I'm Irish, so there's a clash of cultures and not necessarily seeing eye to eye. And then we've got our spy master. So this once again is another one of our vassals, but he's at a lower level. He's at a barony level, which is why he's a mayor. And he does like us. And this short reign will change as the game plays out, because obviously I'll reign for a longer and longer time as they play. Okay. So I'm going to start to just scroll through a few more things, and I'm going to take some actions so you can see how to just get started. So, court, you can see here you can do certain things like hire a physician. So if you're unwell, you've got somebody who's actually look after you. You can see in your court what people are there and what their role is. So there's currently certain guests who are visiting me, and these are people that will come and go from your court. and if there's somebody with a particular claim or a skill set or a trait that you really want as they're visiting you, you bring them into the court, but it will probably cost you a little bit of money. It's not letting me do that at all, is it? Oh well. So yeah, there's other people here as well, so we can get them to do stuff if we want. So in here is your intrigue page. So this will show you schemes that you're doing or discovered or against you, and it will also show you hooks and secrets that you have on others or they have on you. Factions is where if one of your vassals or people are rising up against you, it will show factions against you. But if you have a liege, which we currently don't, if there's someone we pledge allegiance to, we can join a faction against them, overthrow them. And lastly, on the top, we've got your decisions tab, and over here it gives you a lot of useful information on things that you can do. So we can invite claimants, and if we get claimants into our court, we can then use that to justify conflict with other counties or countries to try and put that person in charge, but then they would be part of your realm. If you go on the tooltip again, it'll tell you what certain things do. So if you got call a hunt, just can you click on it? So yeah, call a hunt. So that will tell you what it does. So you can lose stress if you're stressed out, or you can increase your prestige. It's the same with host a feast as well. So let's have a look here. You can start feasts and things to increase your vassals' opinions of you and to reduce the stress that you have. So the last thing, which I feel is quite important, is the hints tab at the bottom. So you just click in the right stick, it will give you hints of what it is that it thinks that you should be doing to try and improve the situation. So we've got an encyclopedia. We can see our heir is not married, and you can see we're not married. Okay, and you can see here other things on the other side. So anyway, okay, so I feel like the first thing that's quite important for us to do is to find a wife, because we've only got one child. If he dies, we've got no heir, so we need to get a spare. So there's many reasons why you want to marry somebody. It could be for personal traits, it could be for a personal skill set, it could be for claims, it could be for alliances. So I don't have any real particular preference at the moment. We don't have any alliances, so that would be good to have one, but it's not just us. So, you know, if we married our heir to somebody, that could give us an alliance. So let's have a look and see what's out in the dating market. Alright, okay, so there's a lot of people with alliances. I feel like you want to make sure you find somebody who's got a good skill set, well, got traits that are relative to your own. You don't want somebody who's got something that's going to be conflicting. So, like for example, this Welsh lady here. So she is. Just come out of that. So she's gluttonous. So you can see, for example, she's not going to get on with somebody who's temperate, and we're temperate. So if I chose to marry this Welsh Catholic lady, I don't think we're going to get on, because we're just different people, you know. So let's have a look. It's a shame because she's got a good skill set at learning, and that learning would help improve our cultural knowledge and learning new things. So what else is out there in the dating market? A lot of alliances, but what you can do if you wanted to is up here you've got more options, so you can click on the more options. So if you want somebody who's got certain things, so for example you may want somebody who's got inheritable traits. So if I go back now, it's going to bring people with inheritable traits. So here's Tegan Harris. So if we have a look at Tegan, we'll see Tegan has got an inheritable trait, which, you know, our son or any future children we have would potentially pick up. And she's got the trait of quick. So that's something that's inheritable, and as you can see, that gives +1 to everything, but that can't improve. Quick is the lowest level of that physical trait. It goes from quick all the way up to genius, and I think it runs at it's either 3 or 5 levels. So I mean, she seems quite good in terms of a skill set, so there's always that. But looking at it, no alliance with Tegan, so she's quite good at the old intrigue, but deceitful, lustful and gluttonous are not going to get along. Right, anyway, so I think what I might do initially is I might just marry my son off first, because I want to marry my son to somebody, because he's going to be our heir, so no matter what the spare is, he's going to be the next one in charge. So I would ideally like to marry him to somebody who's got claims to certain lands, so what will happen as we play the game, we can expand our territory. So is there anyone who's near to us who has claims? They all seem to be quite far away. We've got this Welsh woman, so she has claims to, where do you have claims to? Quite a lot of places. She's only 11, I'm 18, so it's not too bad. So she's got all these Welsh claims, which is quite good. So, you know what, I think I might just say they've got relatively similar personalities. Let's have a look. So she doesn't like wrathful, she doesn't like deceitful, and is my son any of those things? He's not wrathful, deceitful, so he doesn't like humble, greedy, or patient. She's none of those things. She's actually quite loyal. So, do you know what? I think I'll marry these two people. So what happens at this point, mate, is it'll bring up this page. It'll show that actually, because they're both of noble standing, they're both going to get prestige, and it tells you how much they're going to get. It is going to form an alliance, but their army is inferior, 134. The downside is if he ever calls on us to fight for him, we're pretty much obligated to do so. It's really going to hurt our family. So anyway, hopefully when these two have babies, we can look at creating a larger kingdom between Wales and Ireland, and that will be the start of building the Kingdom of Britannia. So now that son has been married, it's time for us to find a wife, and I feel that maybe it's better that we go for a strong alliance with somebody, so we've got someone to cover our back. So let's have a look here. So we'll reset that to default, and we'll put alliance power. We've got a young 17-year-old girl, boy, 39, 17, and her skill set isn't that strong, and she's also got a trait I don't find that desirable, which is chaste, which really reduces her fertility, and we want a baby. So not that person, please. These are all relatively young. Am I looking at just children or something here? We want an adult, thank you. Someone over 16, please. So we've got this Welsh girl here, and once again, it might be good to have an alliance with a country that is not that far away from us. So if we need somebody to come and help us, they are going to be there pretty quickly. So Anglo-Saxon. So we can have a look. Go to you. She's not that far away. Her stats aren't great, but they're not awful, and you know, she's still relatively young, 33, so I think she could have a child. Let's see if there's anyone else. French, Breton, there's another Welshie there. She's not going to like me because she's got the trait zealous, which basically means she doesn't accept any other religions, and she's Catholic and we're insular Christian, so there's a difference there. So I'm not finding many people who are going to like us, and the lower we go down, the weaker that alliance is going to be. So let's go up a little bit again, have a look at these Welsh people near the top. So I think I might get on with Hunted. Let me just check Hunted. So, she's good at making money, so that's a good trait. Greedy, lazy, okay. I don't think she's ideal, Hunted, but I think she'll do. And if you go up here in the tooltip as well, hopefully, yep, it highlights the heart. Does it highlight the heart? Yep. So health, you can see somebody's health, so she's in fine health, she's feeling good, she's not about to keel over and die, because that's not what we want from our wife. So, 100. Oh, no, I couldn't. She's got a better skill set, but we're not going to get along. We're not going to get along. The other thing, just to check with Hunted, is we'll have to get the tooltip up all the time. So if you click on here, potential alliance. Prince, so we click on. Can we click on him? So he doesn't really like us. But ideally, what you want to try and do is a bit fiddly on console. Unfortunately, I have to. Wait a minute. I'm gonna just select it. She's gonna get a lot of prestige, but I'm gonna form an alliance with this country here, where you can see they got 1,000 troops. So they got a significantly strong army. So if we ever get stuck, they're gonna come over, help us out. Now, one thing that you may want to check, man, if you're not playing a game which is warfare related, but you're still looking to expand your lands and things, if you bring up the duchies, kingdoms, or whatever title you're looking at, wherever you're looking to conquer. So let's say, for example, you're looking to conquer a county. Might be actually better, I don't know if I can do it with the counties, I'll do it with the duchies. So if you bring up a duchy, so let's say you wanted to conquer the Duchy of Leinster, but you don't have the power to do so. You could say the Duchy of Leinster's got a stronger army than you, but you want their land. What you can do is you click on this, the shield will show you the Duchy of Leinster and everything that's within the duchy. If you press R1, okay, the Duchy of Leinster doesn't exist yet, so we're going to have to find a duchy that does exist. So I think this duchy exists. So what you can do is click on the succession, and it tells you who the current ruler is and who his successors are going to be. So for example, if you wanted, let's say, I mean it's a boy so it's difficult, but if you wanted to marry into this family, you could click on the person, you know he's next in line to be king. You could then look to arrange a marriage. We can't do this because we haven't got anyone in our family, so we need to have more children, but you could look to marry into that family and then kill off the current ruler, and then all of a sudden, wait a minute, you find that your son or the person who's your heir is going to inherit not only your titles but theirs as well, and thus increasing your lands. So I mean, they won't accept this, as you can see. I knew they wouldn't accept it, because they won't accept it because this guy's got a low opinion of me. The candidate gives lowborn. The age difference is too big, and the marriage has got low fertility. One thing to remember, really important, if you're ever marrying a daughter and you want to keep her in your court, always use the matrimonial marriage, which means that they stay in your court and any children are part of your dynasty and household. So let me do that. So anyway, these are the duchies. As you can see, I own 2/3 of Munster, and there's this kingdom over here which is part of Munster, but he's not pledged allegiance to us, he's independent. So I think the best place to start is by trying to get this as part of our realm. So neighbouring ruler, cowardly, blackguard. So we got this guy over here, Miridach. So the first thing to do, because I own 2/3 of the county, or the duchy, sorry, is to see if he'll fall in line, and if we can offer him a vassal, ask him to just swear fealty. Now he's not going to do that. Why is he not going to do that? So it says he won't do it because he's got a reluctance to do so, and he's got a slightly low opinion of me. So I don't know how to change that base reluctance, but we could try to sway him. But there's somebody who's more important to sway at the beginning, which is what I said a little while ago, which was this guy. So I'm going to start with a scheme here. So I'm going to press square. I'm going to sway him. There's a 60% chance, so it's okay, not great. But what you can do, which I hope will work straight away, is you can get your spy master to do different things. So at the moment he's disrupting schemes against me, but I want him to actually support schemes I want to undertake. So if I do that and then go to sway, okay, it's still 60, so maybe it doesn't help with swaying schemes, maybe it's just murder. But so I'm going to start swaying him. And that appears at the bottom. I can click on that. It's going to take about 2 years for me to try and sway this guy, and hopefully afterwards he'll be on my side and he'll start to give me some of the church's money. So that's what I'm going to start with. I'm going to just what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get the ball on the way, and yeah, there we go. So I've married Hanid. My son has married as well. If I go to tooltip, does it? Tooltip doesn't open on this page, which is a little bit annoying. There's other things on PC you can see at that point, but anyway. So we now got Hanid. Hanid is our wife. Now, as we're insular Christians, we can actually get more wives if we want more wives, because our religion allows us to do that. If I go onto this one, click faiths, it should tell me our beliefs. So if I click on that tooltip, so I should scroll down. So over here it will tell you the tenets of our faith. So we can see that being temperate is a virtue, which gives us more piety. Gluttonous is a sin. We've also got this here, vows of poverty. So generous people, virtuous, get more faith. Greedy people, sinful. And over here, always be considered of a Christian faith to be right. So okay, characters and counties sometimes may convert back to faith. Okay, so that's the general the heads about faith. We've got other things over here, so it shows you the sins and the virtues. So if we have any of these things, they'll give us or reduce the piety that we can get. And then we've got other things down here as well. So you can see that we're male dominated, so men will always inherit titles. Unless there's no men at all, and maybe it might be a daughter or something. Yeah, there's other things as well you can see about the faith. I won't talk you through and tell you how to suck eggs, but there's that. And then there's also crimes, marital doctrines. So as you can see from the marital doctrines, we can be polyamorous, so we can, or polygamous, sorry, we can just have up to 4 wives. So hopefully getting an heir shouldn't be a problem. Oh, we have to get approved for divorce. Who approves it? Head of faith, which is probably, hopefully, going to be me. And we've got other crimes, all shunned. Yeah, no bumming. So, yeah, you can see all these crimes where you can essentially lock people up and stuff. And then you've got, obviously, clergy doctrines as well, just showing you what your clergy has to do. So, anyway, at the moment, I'm just going to allow time for my gold to build up, and I'm going to just have a look at my wife now to see what she's doing in my council. Now, what you can do, so at the moment, you can click on your wife, so she's going to assist me, which gives me a small boost to probably all of my stats. But if you want her to focus on one particular stat in particular, you can click on it and it will show you what it gives you. So +4, +2, so, you know, if you're lacking in a certain area, you may think, right, I need a boost there. So you can see this guy is great at martial, but rubbish at diplomacy and education. And education is the thing we need to learn innovation. So as you can see, we're currently learning battlements, and it's going to take us 53 years to learn battlements. So the likelihood is the petty king merchant will be dead before we learn it. So we need to, but I think we need to have our wife just help us out a bit here. So I'll ask her to help boost my education. So now we look at that. My education trait has gone from 6 to 9. And hopefully, as a result, we're going to learn this a little bit quicker. So it's gone down from 56 to 46 years. So that's a skill now, hopefully, we're going to pick up a little bit quicker. So thanks to my wife, we've done that. So what have we got here? Steward has gained us 45 gold. This has happened despite the steward's poor skill. That's very good. Well done, mate. We do need to look at replacing him. Oh dear. So what's happened here? Levies leave farmlands empty. So what's this going to do? Farmers have been recruited indiscriminately from this county, resulting in a lack of workers for large swathes of the land. So our taxes are reduced by 10%. Your marshal's average marshal. Okay, so our marshal is so rubbish, he's allowed farmers to go off, and now we don't have workers to work the land. So it's important to have people who are good at their jobs. So let's just see if we've got anyone in our kingdom who is better. Now, a bit reluctant to change this guy because he is our vassal, and if I take him off he might get annoyed. So he's not awful, he must be average, so not too worse. And this guy's not very good. I think we might just see. Let's see if there's anyone else who's better than this guy. We'll just filter here by stewardship. And we can see that we've got nobody. So what you can do if you wished is, once again it's a bit annoying in this one because there's no option to filter your court by married and unmarried like you can in PC, but we can go through our list and find somebody. Oh, you're married? Who are you married to? Who you are. That's my wife, nephew. I'm just seeing if there's a lady, an unmarried lady. Okay, we've got an unmarried lady here in our court. So we could use her to find somebody, or marry her to somebody who has, we want a matrimonial, because we want to keep them in our court. We'll find somebody who's got stewardship. Ooh, look at this. So this guy's incredible. Oh, look at him. So he's great at collecting money. He's a genius, temperate, content, generous. So yeah, he is a very good guy to have. I think we want him in our court. So we select here. Yeah, that's going to accept. That's going to give them both a little bit of prestige. So we're going to bring him into our court, and if we want, we can then make him our new steward. It's a bit annoying you can't filter by married and unmarried. Can you do it at the top? Bit annoying. We'll just carry on playing for now. But you can get people in your court to bring people in. So there we go. So now what we can do, because we got a poor guy. I don't know who this guy is. He doesn't seem to be of any importance. I can see he is. You can see from this drop here, he is part of our dynasty. He's got the same surname as us, so he's my nephew. So that's probably how he got the job. But oh, my wife is pregnant. Okay. So if we just replace this guy. Oh, look! All of a sudden we've got a genius. We'll bring him in now. the guy we're getting rid of is going to lose opinion of me for some time because we're getting rid of him. But we're now going to bring in someone who's much better at the job. What's going on here? So the annoying doesn't pop up here, so I'm always using the tooltip. So what's this do? This is to do with my swaying scheme, I think. So we'll just carry on with that. So let's have a look here. Just going to look at the tooltip here. Does it tell me what claims I've got? No, it's just that. It's so annoying. So annoying. So if I just do that, that's titles. Major realm. So if I click on Desmond, claimants, these are all the people who've got claims to Desmond. I'm not one of them, so I know I don't have a claim to it. What's happening here? Okay, so only half my army has come back. Some troops are missing. We've got the option of going looking for them, and if we do that, then I might get some martial skill, or if I decide someone else can do it, the person who does it, which is my vassal, will get an opinion of me. And I don't think that we need to suck up to this guy just yet. A bit clunky, this. I just want to know what your opinion is of me, mate. What's your opinion of me? Oh. 4. So, yeah, he's on side. He's only a mare. I'm not too fussed about that. I'd rather try and get benefits myself than for him. So we'll go looking for the army. How's that? Okay. So what's happening? Who is this guy? Don't know who this guy is. Some vassals won't like me if I say that I'm ruled by divine right, but it gives me a nice little boost to prestige, so I'll get an extra 150, which is, you know, it's like 10. Yeah, it's like, loads. Loads. So I'm tempted to do that. What else have we got? Don't feel like I want to do that. He'll lose opinion of me. I'll spend faith as well. And the last one, this is going to lose me some stress, so I'm just going to go home, but I'm not stressed, so I'm going to go with the top one, get a nice boost to prestige. I rule by divine right. I am Petty King Merchant. Okay, so what happens here? So that's not great. I'd spend half of the stuff I've just earned and can carry on searching. That's not a good option either, because it means I'll have more desires for the next 5 years. Once again, ban the stress. Okay. And what's quite good here is I'm going to earn a skill called Logician, which basically increases my supply line, meaning I can go further into enemy lands without having to worry about getting supplies to them. So I think I'm going to do that for now. So as you can see, what's happened now, on my characters list, a trait has appeared, and if I go down to it, you can see that supply duration plus 100%. Good options are running out here. So it looks like my vassal has continued field exercises, which is why the troops didn't return home. Okay. So I can kick off saying I didn't tell him to do that, and this guy will lose opinion of me. And I will continue to search for other missing troops. This option, I don't fancy that because it means that I'm going to lose advantage, and in order to give you a breakdown of what advantage is there if you want to have a look at that, but I continue my search, or I can advance and go home, lose stress, and I don't really want to do that, so I don't tell him I didn't want to do that, and carry on looking. What do they do it in my troops? Who are the rowdy soldiers leading them? No. I want to spend gold. So this is against our character's nature because of its trait of temper. So because it's in conflict with our nature, it causes stress. And as the game goes on, if you have high levels of stress, it can cause mental breakdowns or worse. Whereas this is the opposite, reducing stress. So no, because I want to try and play the role of merchant. I don't want to go in conflict with what he is. So I've got enough coin to pay me the damages. I think that might be the best option here. And then I continue the search as well for more missing troops, whereas this one just ends it, and I'll never know what may have happened. Could be a nice little bonus at the end of it. So, let's have a look. So they've got the last of the troops back. If I click here. Okay, so I've gained a martial point from doing all of that. So, nice. So this is where I get my martial points. That's quite good. So the AI is already invested into it. That's a bit annoying, just having that T at the end. My OCD's gonna... Anyway. So I've almost completed this strategy tree, so I may as well just polish it off with getting the strategist. You can see what that does. So it will give me extra diplomacy, +3 martial, enemy casualties, extra 25%, crosses water without advantage penalties. Great, so that's nice. So I'm going to finish off that skill tree and get the skill strategist. Nice. I think we'll leave it there, and in the next one we'll look at how to expand our realm, and I think that Desmond will be the ideal target considering it's part of Munster. Alright, until next time. Bye.